Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Counselor's Couch 101. I'm Jim Stump. And if you'd like to communicate with us, please drop a comment down in the boxes below or send us an email with your ideas, thoughts, or your questions. We can be reached at counselorscouch101 at mail.com, just mail.com. Counselorscouch101 at mail.com. The other day, I was thinking about my experiences in psychology school. Most of the students in the psychology school at this university were female. That makes sense because it's a nurturing profession, and often women are nurturing by nature, so it's kind of a good fit for them to gravitate to that types of work. But there were a couple of us guys around, and we sort of hung out together. And I remember we were waiting between classes one day, and I was sitting next to my fellow classmate, drinking coffee and talking. And he said to me that he had to go to a family event and he needed someone to take with him. He couldn't go alone and he didn't have an escort. And I looked around and I waved my hands in the air. It says, we're surrounded by women. Why don't you ask one of these? And he looked at me and he screwed up his face and he said, are you kidding? I wouldn't ask any one of these. They all have problems. I thought that was pretty cute. Someone in psychology school. Wait a minute. There he goes talking about that book again. My gosh, when's he going to stop? By the way, I heard the other day that a lot of you are now published authors because of the efforts of this man, and your book has gone up on the best-selling list. Congratulations to all of you. That's what a community can do when they come together and share assets and share talents and experiences and connections. The how-to sorts of things that we have that we can share with one another to benefit one another. Anyway, so my buddy said he wouldn't date a psychology student because they all have problems. Well, that's true. A lot of people say that they don't like going to counselors because the counselors are all crazy. They're all twisted and they all want you to see things their way or a particular way or this, that, or the other thing. And I say, I get it, but here's the deal. A counselor is not a person who hasn't had problems or doesn't have problems. A counselor is a person who has had problems and figured out the answers. And after you work through stuff on your own and you figure out what life's all about and how to be successful at it with it, you have something to share, right? But we'll keep learning as we go along. We haven't got all the answers to all the problems yet, but we learn as we go along. And I remember I was in a group setting once years ago. I used to conduct a lot of men's groups with some really hard characters. They all came from the local court system. A lot of them had been in jail or prison or something. I had this one guy been in jail a few times, and he was really hard case, really, really angry man, really just trying to make everything, tear everything down that he could, right? And we're sitting in a group once, and I just said to them in general, I said, counselors, your counselors aren't perfect. And he sort of chuckled and he said, you're dang straight. I cleaned that up for you. Um, but what he was showing them was contempt for the people who were out there trying to help him. And the thing I noticed was his attitude. He wasn't looking for help. He wasn't looking to improve. He was looking to hold other people down because that's the only way he could feel good about himself, right? Make other people appear less in status so he can feel good. I'm thinking to myself, here he is criticizing counselors. He's been in prison 3 times. He's in recovery programs many times. He's still in the program, spent most of his life not accomplishing anything. And his only thought was to tear down someone else. I was thinking maybe that's the reason he's not progressing in life. He's focused on negative things. He's focused on hurting other people as opposed to moving on. Also, about that time, I remember I was in my office one day and the office manager came by. I was working at a clinic and she was working in the business office and she came by on some, bit of business and all that. And for some reason or another, she mentioned that she and her husband were going to couples counseling. And she said to me, I thought counselors were supposed to be perfect people. I thought they were supposed to have it all together. And I kind of chuckled and I said, no, I mean, counselors are people just like you. Yeah, they go to couples counseling as well if they need to. They have problems just like everybody else. But I think the difference is the perspective. If a counselor is good, the counselor is looking how to improve something, how to make it better, how to fix relationships, how to go through life in a happier way, how to make more friends and be successful. We're looking for the positive answers in life. Now, I, suggested to you, you don't have to be a counselor to do that. If we change our attitude and look for the benefit of a situation, look for what we can learn from a situation, how we can improve and go on from there, then we've gained something. Not only have we gained something personally, we've gained something we could share with other people. And that's really the entire process. We're trying to better ourselves, not just counselors, but people. People are trying to better themselves in order to have something to offer to other folks. If we can be of benefit to other folks, then our life takes on a greater meaning and a more happiness for themselves, ourselves. I remember folks telling me that they learned how to be happy by going through their day, going through life, trying to be nice to other people, right? Just smile, say hello. If they can offer any assistance of any kind, right? Just offer it because it enhances their life. And they said I didn't used to be that way, but I figured it out. That is the answer. That is how I live a better life. I think about improving things around me and think about what I can do to improve the lot of people that I know or come in contact with. And oftentimes, with those people that we come in contact with that we can help, we only know for a few minutes or so. If we can offer a word or a suggestion, something that would help, then we feel good about that. We might not see them again. But as I'm telling you this story, I'm reminded about the guy in the hole. You probably heard this one. This guy's walking along the street one day, and he's passing a construction site. And there's this big hole on the side of the road, and he slips in the mud, and he falls down into this hole, and he can't get out. There's no way to get out. So he's in the hole, and he's calling up to the people, "Hey, look, I'm stuck down there. Help me, can you help me out?" And so he sees this doctor walking by. He says, "Hey, doc, it's me. I'm stuck down here in this hole. Can you help me out?" The doctor looks down, he takes out a pad of paper, and he writes something on the paper and drops it down into the hole. Well, it's a prescription. The doctor dropped him a prescription and went on his way. A little while later, the guy's screaming from the hole, "Hey, folks, can you hear me? I'm stuck down in this hole." And the minister from his church walked by and he said, Pastor, it's me. I'm down here in the hole. Can you help me? Can you help me out of this hole?" The pastor looks down, says a prayer, blesses the guy, and goes on his way. And then a friend walks by. The guy in the hole recognizes this other guy, and he screams up and he says, "Hey, Joe, it's me. I'm down here in this hole. I'm stuck. Can you help me out?" Well, the friend doesn't miss a beat. He jumps down into the hole automatically. And the guy says to him, he says, "What'd you do that for?" He says, "Now we're both stuck down this hole, And the friend says to him, "Yeah, but I've been down in this hole before, and I know the way out." Counselors are people who have been down in the hole and have found a way out, if they're good counselors, that is. We'll talk to you more with you more about how to pick your counselor. Until then, I will talk with you next time.